Did you know that your electricity meter might soon stop switching to cheap night rates? And you'll pay the price. Millions of households are at risk because energy companies can't keep up with the smart meter rollout, and the government has failed to step in. This is a looming energy crisis caused by bad policy, poor planning and lack of leadership, and it lands squarely on the shoulders of the Energy Minister, Ed Milliband. So what's happening? Well, since the 1980s, long-wave radio using a system called RTS, radio teleswitching, has been used to control older style electricity meters. These signals automate the switchover between peak and off-peak energy. So if you're using something like Economy 7 or Economy 10 and you have one of these older style meters, the likelihood is you're using long-wave RTS to tell the meter to switch between the cheaper or the more expensive rates. Now, the BBC has been responsible for transmitting this long-wave signal on the 198 kilohertz band since the mid-1980s. But they've announced, and they announced quite a while ago, that they were shutting down long-wave. And this is going to happen on the 30th of June 2025. So 2 months from today. RTS will go with it. So as the BBC shut down long-wave, there will be no ability to send the radio teleswitching signal. This leaves old meters unable to switch between the day and the night rates. Now, if you have storage heaters or an older heating system that relies upon this, you need to act now. The challenge here is most people who have these older style meters just don't know that this is happening. There has been a few articles on the BBC, there was one yesterday, but it's not really been well communicated. Now, what needs to happen? Well, these people need to be upgraded to smart meters. But the energy companies can't keep up with the current demand for smart meters, let alone all of these extra customers that have RTS meters that need to be upgraded in the next 60 days. Another problem is that a lot of these properties are in the north of England and in rural settings where the radio signals that are used to control those meters and to retrieve meter readings from them just don't work. Unlike the south of England, where we use the telephone networks, specifically the 3G networks, for our meters to communicate, in the north of England they use radio signals, and there are just some places that the radio signals do not reach. Installation teams are incredibly stretched. There's far too few people installing smart meters to keep up with the current demand, never mind all of these extra people that need to be upgraded quickly. Current estimates are it would take 5 years to catch up with the backlog if there were no new customers added just with the current engineers. So customers are at risk of being left on expensive peak rates for their heating and hot water as we go into the second half of the year and into the winter. Now, this is a failure of government policy. There is no other way to describe this. Energy Minister Ed Milliband should be ordering that the energy companies default these meters to the cheap rate period. Why? Because it will force them to get off their backsides and get these meters installed. If they're losing money, you can guarantee it will be at the top of their priority list. But if their customers are paying them a bit more money, what's the incentive to rush? Without any intervention, it's customers that will pay the price. And generally, the people who have these meters, leaving aside the people who think that somehow smart meters are spying on them, are going to be the old and people who can ill afford to be paying full price for their energy. So what do you need to do? Well, if you have one of these older style meters, go and check it now. Go and check, because if you have two different readings for an Economy 7 or an Economy 10 period and the standard period, and you might have a little box next to it that is the RTS receiver, then you need to get in touch with your energy company right away. Get an appointment booked within the next 60 days. And if they try and fob you off, Tell them you need to have this done, otherwise you're going to be getting in touch with them so they can cover the difference in your bills. Do not wait. This deadline is looming. The long wave signal will be switched off at the end of June, and these meters will cease to function as dual rate meters from that point on. Now, I would have one ask. Please go and check on your neighbours. If you have, certainly in the area that you live, people with these kind of meters, go and check, because they may not know this is happening. They may not know that they need to do something. And again, if you don't catch the odd news article, maybe in the papers or on the BBC, you may have no idea that this is about to happen and larger bills are looming. Anyway, I hope this short public service announcement has been useful. Please, please, please do share this information with your friends, your family, or anyone else you think it might be relevant for. With that, I'm going to sign off. I hope this has been useful. If it has, a like and subscribe would be greatly appreciated. And I'll see you back here real soon for another video. Take care. Bye-bye.